I'm so excited to be here. Welcome everyone. My name is Lauren Cassidy. I've been with Pureology since 2004. This is so exciting to be here to do a pure form cutting class for all of you. On today's agenda, what we want to do today is the class started at 9:30. We're going to end promptly at 3:30. We're going to break for lunch, and we're going to break for lunch at 12 to 12:45. So those that didn't bring a lunch, no big deal. I have things here as well, just for you, Amy. The other thing we're going to be doing for some housekeeping is we're going to also break at around 10:30, take like a 10-minute break and a break in the afternoon. The bathroom is just around the corner, so if you need to use the lady room, anyone, just please, even if I'm doing the presentation, if you need to use the ladies' room, just get up, use the bathroom and come back. I would appreciate if you turn off your cell phone or put it on vibrate. If you need to take a call, no big deal. I just say step to the side of the room, take the call, and then come back to class, okay? This is a pure form cutting class, and it's going to be a demo class. So there's a lot of information that we're going to be doing. We're also going to be doing the blow dry with the Pureology products that we have here. So there's just going to be a lot of information coming your way. Let me ask a question here. How many of you already have an outcome in mind on what you want to learn today in hair cutting?
I do.
You do, okay? So what would be some outcome that you want to learn?
I would love to learn some new techniques in long layering.
Okay.
And I would love to learn how to not overblend and disconnect.
Okay, awesome. So those are two things that we're definitely going to be doing today for you, Amy. Learning how to do disconnected haircuts. That's going to be our third haircut. But we're learning how to do those disconnected haircuts so they actually look really vogue and look really current. Does that sound good to you?
Fantastic.
Okay, great. So let's get started. Let's set up the class successfully. You know, how many of you have your own personal style? You have your own personal style in what you wear. You have a favorite brush. You have your favorite tool. How many of you have your own personal style?
I do.
Yes, we all do, right? I mean, I have a cutting comb that I cannot not have, right? So we're not going to be going over tools. It's not about changing your own personal style or the style of clothes you wear or anything like that. Today we're really going to be going over methods, okay? Different ideas, different tools in our pockets that we can come out with when we need them, okay? So this class is really all about methods and ideas and inspiration. How does that sound?
Fantastic.
This way it will give you some new results. Now, by a show of hands, everyone, how many of you are getting the results in hair cutting 100% of the time? Like you're just knocking it out of the park?
Never.
No. I don't think any of us do. You know, I learn by teaching just like you learn by learning. So if we can get to 95 or 98%, you know, kicking it out of the park behind the chair, I think that's really good, don't you?
Yes.
Okay? And we're always growing as we're doing that, right? So today is another step into growing and creating new ideas with new methods. That gives us to habits, right? How many of us, if we were ever on some kind of exercise program, you know, like to get up at 5:30 every day to exercise and do that 5 days a week?
Boo.
Yeah. So if we did that, it would take us 21 days to form that habit. So it's the same thing today with what you're learning. Some of the ideas and methods are going to be totally foreign to you. So if that's the case, just know it's going to take 21 days to form that habit, and just sort of be gentle with yourself. It's okay. It's okay. The next thing is your belief system about that. Change is when you're exercising, is that difficult or is it easy?
Difficult.
It's difficult, right? So if you get up every day at 5:30 and have to exercise, it's difficult. Sometimes you don't want to do that. And it's the same thing in class today. Your belief system may be like, I don't pick up sections that way. I don't blow dry that way, okay? But if we want to change our habits to get the results 100% of the time, then we have to change our belief system. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so once again, just being gentle with yourself with that. So I just ask you just to be open to learning, open to growing, open to asking questions. Remember, this is your class. This is your class, okay? And this is your class. So any questions that you have, this is a safe environment. No class should be an unsafe environment. So if you all do this with an L over your head, put an L over your head, that usually means what, ladies?
Loser.
Loser. But today it means learner. You're a learner today, okay? You're going to be a learner today, and you're going to be a learner tomorrow when you go back into the salon, and you're going to tell your guests what you learned and why you were inspired, and you're changing new habits, and you're stepping outside that creative zone that you're already in, but you're pushing yourself forward to that. So to do that, are we going to make mistakes?
Yes.
Right? We make mistakes. We make mistakes with maybe hair cutting, blow drying, things like that. And just think of that like a little gem. Just think of that as a gem rather than beating yourself up. So you don't have to lay blame. You don't have to like justify like, well, I usually do it this way. It's okay. You know, it's okay. So you don't have to do any of that. What I ask you to do is just, sorry about that. That sort of ripped off. That's okay. You have the extra piece right here. And I have these over here, so you can film those if you need to. You just need to be responsible for your own learning, which just means what? What do you think that means? Be responsible for your own learning, everyone.
Take control.
Take control. What does that mean, Amy? Take control.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's correct. Awesome. High five. Okay. So what else does it mean?
Being accountable.
Being accountable. So if you took the section and maybe you messed up, and that's okay. When you take your another section, you're going to be in control of that, right? And the last thing is we're going to rock this class. So on the count of 3, we're going to high five each other and we're going to say rock this class.
Rock this class.
Rock this class. Okay, so
Rock
let's
this class.
move on to our pure form cutting, which is all about cutting hair for color treated hair. For color treated hair. Do you think you have to cut a color treated hair somewhat differently than virgin hair?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
I
so
never did.
why? Okay, so say you're doing a full head of highlights with lightener with 20 volume, okay? Is that hair that's already pre-lightened to, a level 8 now, is that fabric changed?
Yes.
Okay, so if you were doing some slide cutting after you put it on those highlights and you just destroyed all the highlight that you put in because you over texturized it, is that going to affect the end result of your haircut and your canvas?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we have to be mindful of when we're cutting an all one color versus high lift color versus highlights, one color of highlight, or multi-dimensional highlights and lowlights, right? Today on our mannequin, she's colored with some color blocking. So the sections are much bigger and there's not any highlights on the top. However, as we go through this afternoon, we will talk about how all these highlights, if we do have a mannequin like that, how that affects our texturizing and our blending and things like that. So just be mindful of that. Different approach. This is just a little review. Okay, the element of connect. We have a look. Say we have a look. Let's bring over one of our fabulous mannequins of disconnection. This is a really great disconnected cut over here. And she's been colored with Redken 4RV. Love it. And she's definitely disconnected, as you can see. Okay, so this is the look. But before we have the look, then we have to understand how to connect, how to provide the shape and the emotion into this haircut. Okay, so how do we connect with our guests? Does anyone know? How do we connect with our guests? How do you connect with your guests?
Having a consultation.
Consultation, right?
Finding
And
a bond,
finding that bond.
common denominator.
Okay, and so what kind of questions do we ask when we first start out of what they want? If they came in with a picture like that, and you know it's a disconnected haircut, what kind of questions would you ask them so they understand what this haircut is actually going to do for them?
What their styling routine is.
What their styling routine is, what products they use, okay? So that's good. Do they blow dry every day, right? Do they blow dry every other day? Do they really understand that a disconnected haircut means what on the bottom?
Short.
Short, and the top is what?
Long.
Long. So does the client really understand that even though this appears long, that it's short underneath? And is that okay? Right? So in the consultation, wouldn't you have to tell her, if this is what you want, then you have to understand everything underneath the parietal ridge is going to be short. Everything on the top will be long. So it appears long, but it is short too.
So that they understand.
So they understand. Don't you think that's really important in the consultation?
Yeah,
Okay? Absolutely. After that, then you have to understand the lines that we're going to take, which is the shape of this. Let me just put this down. So, horizontal lines, and the answer is right here, but horizontal lines do what?
Build weight.
Build weight. So every time you do a horizontal straight across line, it's going to build weight. That's where we get bob shapes from. Okay? Does everyone understand that? Does that make sense? Okay? Vertical shapes, when we do long hair, long layers, do what?
Reduce weight.
Right. They reduce weight.
Give you the layers.
They give you the layers. Okay? They give you a vertical up and down look, don't they? Everything's vertical, right? So it's loose, it's longer. You're not building weight when you do that. Okay? You're reducing that weight. And when you do revolving, or what we call diagonal,